Hey, what's up with Sean Baligian?
What up? This is Joint Bell here on the Baligian and Bell Show.
Make sure you check us out on the Woodward Sports Network. What is up? So glad that you can join us on a Thursday morning. So glad that this guy can join us. I've always been a big fan of his in general, but I enjoyed his writing coming up and everything. And now I'm in awe of Terry Foster. I've always kind of been in awe of Terry Foster. Sorry to go fanboy on you, T.
What I do this time?
So before the show starts, we're having some conversations. We're going to share some of those conversations. But something that I did not know.
Neither did I.
And Joik and I both. And it was Joik right away. I have to give Joik credit. Joik did one of these and he goes, "Can we talk about this?"
That?
And Terry's like, "Sure, we can talk about this."
I'm open book.
So right now, at this moment, what is it, 11:01 on a Thursday morning? Good morning, everybody.
Yes.
You can't even say it.
You can't even
Here,
say
I'll
it.
say I'll bust it myself.
All right, so this is what happened. It wasn't even me. It was Fish. Fish walks around the platform and the podium, and he says, "Terry, I still can't wrap my head around it that your wife doesn't know you work here." I said, "Wait, what? Your wife doesn't know you work here?" And then I thought about it. I said, "Oh, that makes sense." You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
My wife is Dr. Fauci, and she does not want to let me out the house because of COVID. And so she knows I do podcasts, and she knows I do things like that, but she's always assuming I'm doing it in the basement. But I come here because I'll enjoy everybody, have a good time. I just don't tell her that I'm here because she works on Thursdays and Mondays. So I just kind of show up and put my life in my own hand. Just hope you guys are clean.
What if she comes home one day?
On break. Just tell you once. Because my thing was this. Like, how do you get out there? I asked you, how do you get out the house? Hey, honey, I'm going to the grocery store. I'll be back in a few hours. A few hours? Yeah. You know, I like to browse.
She works.
Okay.
So then when she goes, I just go in the basement, do my little show prep, and I leave for the show to be with Fish and the gangs and hang out a little bit longer with you guys. Then I go somewhere, have lunch, and go home.
Art's got his hand up over there.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Art.
You don't have to raise your hand.
I see.
I'm the blissful one.
No.
Thank you, Terry. You're a real gentleman. Does she not have access to the internet at all?
She is not an internet person. She doesn't have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
So I'm trying to protect you here. Does she not have access to friends that have the internet? Because it's going to eventually come out.
She does.
Okay.
Yeah, but by then I'll be back in my basement. I can do it via Zoom.
So you're getting away with it right now, but eventually it's going to come out. I mean, people know you. They're going to say, "Oh, hey, Terry, I saw you on Baligian and Bell." Then what do you say to your wife if she hears that?
Hey, I stepped out. You know what I tell her? At least I wasn't with another woman. How about that?
Yeah.
Bam.
You know, it's amazing how many snitches there are, too, because I'm looking at this, and, you know, we discussed this. Snitches get stitches.
We talked about it.
This is what people... Steve said, "I'm sending her the link." Larry said, "I'm telling." Now, would you get some heat? Would she?
She'll be mad at me.
Terry Reginald Foster. Mm-hmm. What are you doing? Really? That would be
Right.
That would be the routine.
Say, you can't get sick. No, she'll give me the "I love you" thing, and I don't want you to get sick and all this kind of stuff. So,
if we have snitches that are in the comments, you're not a Woody. You're not. You are a snitch, and you will be labeled a snitch. Don't snitch on the great Terry Foster.
Why you gonna snitch on me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's. See, you know what? But Joik, you said something like My wife is used to this. Like,
looking
I'm
at
not
these
joking.
comments.
My grocery store has become my happy place. And I am the type.
That was everybody's happy place.
No,
for a
listen,
moment
when
in
I
time.
go to the grocery store, it's not 15 minutes. I'm going to be there for a while. And it's funny because one of your former teammates, and I'm not going to say who on the air just in case he doesn't want me to, but one of your former teammates would go to the grocery store. They have a little like coffee place in the grocery store. He'd get a coffee, kind of, commiserate, chat with some locals, and walk around the grocery store. And finally one day I said to him, I was like, dude, you're here all the time. What's up? And he looked at me and he goes, you're here all the time. I'm doing the same thing that you're doing. And I was like, hot damn, you're right. I mean, it was just like, you know what? That's my happy place. I go and, you know what? I'm going to pick out some meat.
Linebacker?
Lineman. Offensive lineman. I'm going to pick out
Why don't
some
you just
meat.
tell the person?
No, but just in case he doesn't want me to. But Terry, you can appreciate this. I go look in the meat aisle and everything. This is before I got to know my boy the butcher, and I'd be like, all right, well, I'm going to do that this week, and I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to, look at that over there. And next thing you know, you're in the meat aisle alone for 25 minutes.
You know what, fellas? I
Get yourself
became
in order,
excited. COVID has been so rough. I get excited when I go to Bath and Body Works just to get some soap, just to see something different. So, believe it or not, your ugly mug, I'm happy that I'm looking at it now.
I feel the exact same. It was like, honestly, just the little things to be able to go do something. I would always ask my kids, you want to go to the grocery store? Like, I know you were talking about that the other day. And my kids got to the point like, Dad, stop asking me to go to the grocery store. But during COVID, Dad, can we go to the grocery store? Can we, Dad, are you going today? Can we go to the grocery? Yes, I'm going today. Don't worry about it. Boy, that's fascinating. I had no idea.
Well, now you know.
You're not going to get heat. She's not going to say you can't come back or anything.
Yeah,
she's not going to pull that.
She'll get mad. She'll talk about I want you to get sick, and then she'll give me the I love you thing, and then she'll make me do it via Zoom or something.
But you can't come back in for sure.
If she finds out,
You guys better enjoy this.
The middle of April, I'm supposed to be clear.
You know what they say. Well, wifey don't know won't hurt her.
Oh,
That's true. It's sort of like
Ain't that right, Art?
if you know there's something that's going on in your life that's going to piss her off, why tell her?
no, I'm with you there.
Wait
Hey,
until
but what's
That's good
it's the
logic.
fine line between that.
That's a good logic.
It's a fine line. If you know your wife has on something that doesn't look good, and she says, "Babe, I look good in this, right?" Are you gonna say, "No"? Are you gonna say, "No, you look beautiful, babe.
Yeah.
You look gorgeous"?
You have to.
What do you say? What do you say?
Hey, here's the other one.
How do you circumvent?
They put something
being
on.
honest?
Do I look fat in this? Hell no, you don't look fat. What are you talking about?
Never, ever.
You can never
No,
say yes.
This was, but if she looked fat in it, this is the way to get around that. Art taught me this. You say,
I did not tell you anything. No.
He doesn't even
Poor
know
Art.
what's going to be
"Oh,
said.
my bad." Okay, we talked. He confided in me with this, so I can't say it out loud. But basically, what he said was, he said that if my wife asked me that question, do I look fat or something? I said, no, you don't. But you know what? I like that other dress better though. For some reason, I just like it flows better.
Can I ask why my wife is so eager to let me go to work? Should I be worried about that? Because Terry, you've got a great wife that cares about, but I don't have. I feel like
If you read between the lines, he just say he doesn't have a great wife. And for the record, Trish, I think you're great. I don't know how you put up with him.
No, but you all need your space from one another.
100%.
Yeah.
like
You don't wanna see-
99% of the time. Yeah, I love being. Yeah.
Right. You need your freedom. She needs hers.
You know, and I've told you this before, Art. I don't know at what point in time it happens, but there's some you pass over this magical portal, and you don't know how you passed over it. You don't know when you passed over it, but all of a sudden, like things that used to be issues before, like you just laugh now.
Well, yeah, that's the miracle of just not talking to each other.
But it, like, honestly, you just like nothing. Like now, it's like if something happens, we just kind of look at each other and like laugh. It's like I'm not gonna argue with you anymore.
Yeah, it used to be. Oh,
It's
you
old.
said something disrespectful to me, so now I got to tell you off. And then at a certain point, you're like, no, I don't.
Nah, that's exactly
Let's
it.
just have peace.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not that big of a deal.
You don't like honestly. At some point in time, you just and then you'll have a conversation. You'll look at each other and you'll go, "We haven't had a fight in like 5 years." Shh, don't say, knock on wood, whatever they. But then it's like over. It's just like no, you just don't get worked up anymore. It's really. That doesn't mean that disagreements don't happen.
What did you start putting in her food to make her?
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I mean, well, you know what it is. It was more for me. It was more my.
So what's
behavior.
your code? So what's your code? Like
Relationship
to a
advice.
successful relationship. Like I have 3. Like what are yours?
Listen's important.
Yeah.
Listen's very important.
That actually falls on one of the categories.
I wasn't a good listener. I'm probably still not a good listener, but
she accepts that.
I try, and I think the effort is there, because it's like I mean, Terry, your wife can probably. This business keeps you busy. You're busy. There's always something going on, and a lot of times I would get into the, okay, sure, yeah, whatever you need, like that, like. That's kind of my go-to. My entire family makes fun of me. So then I got to the point I was like, all right, if they're all making fun of me, then obviously this is something I'm doing. It can't be they're all wrong and I'm right. That's on me. So now I take the time and I actually listen instead of doing the sure, yeah, whatever.
But believe it or not, people in our business do not listen. We are in the communication business.
Yeah.
We don't listen to each other.
Worst communication.
Right.
Worst communicators
we
ever.
don't communicate
because we
to
get
each
paid
other.
to talk, not to listen.
The worst communicators ever. I mean, it really it's just one of the funniest things. And Terry, you and I have both worked for like conglomerates. Some of the emails that would come out that you were just like, we talked about this 2 days ago. What on earth are you? What are you talking about? Like, don't you listen? And then the he said, she said bullshit that starts is incredible. And that's when I pulled the chute. I'm out. Like you just see my body flying in the air from 50,000 feet. I pulled the chute. I'm out. I don't want anything to do with that stuff. But you're absolutely right. I felt that way forever. We're in the communication business. We are the worst communicators
And there's too much damn gossip
Oh,
in our
gosh,
business.
don't even get me started.
I've heard a whole bunch of things. Why you said this about this guy? Says I don't even know who he is. So how could I even talk about him?
Yeah. Oh,
So-
it's fascinating. Just made up shit too. Like if there was even a modicum of truth for some things, then you go, all right, well I can understand how maybe that was perceived, but Terry, like just wild made up stuff, and it was like, really?
Right.
Did I do that? Oh, I
I
hope
am
I
an
did it
asshole
well,
then.
right?
Right.
I hope I did it well. Oh, it's absolutely great. All right, so what's your code then?
My 3 things for a successful relationship, and it goes for any relationship, honestly, is it's communication. That's 1. Respect. That's 2. And then my 3rd is, which is the toughest one, is compromise. Those 3. You have those 3, you have a successful relationship. Anything that you add into that falls in one of those categories.
I am a yes, dear person across the board. I don't like when we take our family vacation, it's where they want to go. Every single time. Like there's never, I'm serious.
What would be your ideal vacation?
Whatever they want.
Yeah, your vacation is not
Whatever they
about
want.
you.
No.
I have to do a written daily planner and then give it to them and see if they approve. If they approve of it, this is what we do. If not, I got to start all over.
What?
But it's never. I'm spontaneous. I just want to get up
Go.
and just go to the beach, do stuff. I don't want to know what we're going to do that day.
Yep.
But them, they go, okay, we got to be at the museum at 9. We have to have lunch at 11:35 and all this stuff. And I got to follow the game plan.
You know what? I will say this, though. I have to give them credit because I think I told you, Joy, like we're going to the Keys at the end of the
Right.
month. That is literally one place in the contiguous United States that I haven't been that I want to go to. So they actually all said, and this was nice of them, because I always say, wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do. They were like, well, let's go to the Keys. Because
They knew you wanted to go there?
They knew I wanted to go there. But that's the extent. Now, what we do at the Keys, I have no choice in that matter. So I don't even pretend. I don't even pretend. What do you guys want to do today? Okay, whatever you want. Like I don't even pretend. And so like those compromises are easy to me, right?
Sure.
Whatever you guys
Should
want to
be.
do. What's going to make you happy?
Because it's warm weather, and I'm going to have a good time no matter what you
Bam.
do. So we may as well not argue today.
Yeah.
Might as
Kevin
well.
said those are 3 pretty broad.
You should be a marriage
keys.
counselor or something.
Yeah, and if we're talking about respect, you could start with your best friend here. Like maybe a little respect towards me and compromise.
Speaking of respect, there's somebody calling you when you raise your hand.
Terry said I don't have to raise my hand.
Speaking of respect.
Terry said I don't have to raise my hand.
Hey,
Terry
but
talks
that's
on
on
Thursdays.
but we're talking about you and I right now. We're not talking about you and Terry. We're talking about you and I. You said that.
Okay, so let's
respect
compromise
you.
where I don't raise my hand today. Thank you.
No.
Now, would she be
We'll
mad
talk
at you?
about it.
Can I get
Somebody
back to
talk
that?
about
Yeah,
it.
so she'll be
would
mad at me. Yeah.
Like mad or
Like for real mad.
really? Mm-hmm.
What?
You're a braver man than I avoid those situations,
But,
dude.
but
Here we
the
go.
bottom line, I know she loves me. All I have to do is survive 10 minutes. Then it's, hey, what's up, baby? You know, I
Yeah.
love you. You know I love you. That's all. And
Oh,
I'm
she's
like,
sweet talking and you and you get mushy for her. Okay, that's good. What up, Fish? What you got for me, Fish?
What?
You're such a jerk. You are such a jerk. I'm just sitting in the other room, just devastated right now. Joy took his soul. Hi, Fish.
What if your wife comes home early? What if she finishes work at like 11:30 and you're here?
Hey, then she didn't put in the full shift. then I get mad at her. You're supposed to be bringing in money. Right? 3-hour work
You
day's
gotta hold
not
down
gonna
the
do
fort
it.
until I get back on my feet.
There's nothing better than when you can flip the script.
Right.
When you see that opening,
You
dive
see,
in.
you dive in. You dive in that rabbit hole. You take it as far as it goes. You know, you ever got one of those long texts where it said, "What?" And I'll give you an example. Say somebody texts you, "You're no good. I saw you with her. You did this. You guys were at the movies. You guys left. You guys got in a gray car, and you guys drove off." And then you read all of that, and the first thing that's not correct you see in there, you be like, "We didn't get in no gray car. We was black. It wasn't a gray car. What, man? You're seeing things.
You gotta get your shit straight.
You gotta get-
Or just do the, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
a gray car. What? No.
You know what's funny though, and I think this comes with time. Like Art, maybe you haven't experienced this yet. The "where have you been" conversation. I haven't had a "where have you been" conversation in forever.
I haven't had one because my wife and I have location trackers on our phones.
Oh, wow.
Really?
I don't want that.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Yeah.
You know what?
thank you.
I don't mind it because I obviously drive quite a ways to work and.
Why,
and
what do
this
you
and that.
do that she doesn't trust you with?
No, it's just we asked one day, like it's me, my stepdaughter, and Trish. We all have location trackers. Like my phone shows that I'm here right now. Hers.
So you can't go to your girlfriend's house.
I don't have. I've got 7 kids, man. I don't have time for girlfriends
That was
anymore.
awesome. That was great.
How many kids you have?
Just right in
With
conversation.
stepkids included 7. I have 5 of my own.
Hold
She has
on,
2.
whoa, ain't no stepkids. They your kids.
Well, then 7. Then yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Holy smokes.
Wow.
That's better than the Brady Bunch.
we had a moment at Christmas time where I'm still old school, and my daughter and I just went out during the day, and we finished our Christmas shopping, right? We were gone for a while. We went and had lunch, and then we, la, la, la. And I actually, for the first time in years, I got the, "where did you go?" like conversation when I got home. And it was funny because I laughed about it. I was like, she isn't asking about me. She's asking because it was Lauren and I. And like it hit me. I go, wow, I appreciate that. Because in the early days, as you know, I mean, it's like, get out the spotlight and it's the police like grilling you. It's like, "where did you go?" Well, the time doesn't add up. There's a 10-minute span in there that somehow, and I'm like, I don't know. But then as the years go on, you just don't ask.
My wife still asks. She always says it takes me too long to do things. Like if I go shopping or to the grocery store, you should do that in 30 minutes. I'm like, no, because I'm a leisurely guy. If I go shopping, I like to go watch, look at stuff, have lunch. Maybe if it's a good have a beer.
You that guy.
Chill out. I'm casual, man. I'm not in a rush.
You're on Terry Foster time.
I am
Yeah.
on TF time.
You know what's funny though, Terry? That reminds you're that guy that we go get in the car and it's not you. It's just funny that you say that. Is that you get in the car and then the guy that takes about 20 minutes to start the car. You know, looking for your keys and
Phone.
Gotta get your windows together and you looking windows. You get this together, trying to find a good song on the radio, and dangling the keys, trying to put it in the car. Is that you take your time with all of that?
Yeah, that's me. Then I gotta find my stupid mask. I can never find that thing.
So at one point, so at some point in time in your life, were you ever Kevin Hart manager? Or you the guy he was talking about on his document, not on his skit?
I was not. I did not have that job.
Okay.
But I'm like, what's the rush?
Yeah. Do you know what I do? I don't know, Terry, as you get older, and you guys might laugh at me. My buddies and I'll do that. If I'm anywhere near, and when I say anywhere near my old neighborhood, I'm talking about if I'm within 10 miles of my old neighborhood, I always take a drive through my old neighborhood. I do it a lot. No joke. It's just like, the older you get, the more appreciative you are of wow, man, it's pretty cool growing up in that neighborhood. And I keep in contact with, a few of the guys from my neighborhood, like on a day-to-day basis. So that's been another thing in the last couple of years. Like it's, where'd you go? I went to the grocery store and then decided to shoot down to the old neighborhood. And she'll go, yeah, it's like 5 miles down the road. I don't know. I just thought I was nearby, and I just like to drive around the neighborhood.
I used to see my old neighborhood is a disaster.
Is it really?
Yeah, houses are burned out. There's no lake in my neighborhood, but there's like 2 or 3 boats that people just abandoned. There's a factory that's been burned, and it's just a shell of itself. But I go there to see Mrs. Wilson. Sometimes, if I'm near my neighborhood, I go see what's up with Mrs. Wilson. Mrs. Wilson is 95 years old.
God bless her.
And a cutie pie.
Cutie pie.
She's a cutie pie, and she tells you everything that's going on. She tells you stories from the 10s and 20s, not 2010 or 20. I'm talking about 1910 and 1920. She's a wealth of information.
And she's been there the whole time. She stayed in that neighborhood the whole time.
And watching everything.
No kidding.
Nothing gets past her.
Wow, that's funny. That's good stuff. Listen, we need to take a quick break, but when we come back, we want to talk a little bit about Tiger Woods. We also want to talk about some of the binge-watching things. Terry, are you going to take off, or are you going to stick around?
I have to leave. I have a lunch date. See, I'm planning my day.
That's what we talked about. Enjoy the afternoon. It's always a pleasure
my
to see
only
you,
problem
buddy.
is I'm going to a place that has Mexican food, and I don't like cilantro. And there's a lot of cilantro in the food, so I got to figure out something without cilantro in it.
Enjoy. Make sure you enjoy.
you.
It's a pleasure. Terry's always in Monday. He's in with me, so make sure to check that out. And Thursdays as well. Thursdays with Terry. So Terry Foster, ladies and gentlemen, want to remind you, start a new career in an industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu. And in case you forgot, do not forget we have our perfect bracket coming up as well. You can be a part of it. It's such a great thing. Woodward Sports, Hall Financial want to pay off your mortgage. Hall Financial will pay off your house up to $500,000 if you guess the perfect bracket. Starting Selection Sunday, you will have your chance to go to woodwardsports.com and fill out your perfect bracket. And if you don't get a perfect bracket, we still have some awesome prizes for you. How about a PS5, a 65-inch TV, a Detroit-made Shinola watch, and we even have something for last place. How about a toilet? The Tiger Woods situation, you had a feeling these conversations were going to come up. I know a few police officers in my life, including one guy who's an accident reconstructionist who was immediately breaking things down the first day. We'll come back and we'll talk about it. Glad you can join us. He's Joik Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. This is Woodward Sports.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fenton at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys. And ladies, this is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking Thorogood boots. Best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
So these conversations were going to happen. We know that, right? I mean, the day of the accident, you had, it's like you immediately had people that wanted to say that drugs or alcohol had to be involved, right? You immediately thought that drugs or alcohol had to be involved. I know a certain police officer, and if you think really hard, you can probably guess who I'm talking about. What up, Dad? My dad said to me immediately, and my dad did accident reconstruction. My dad said to me immediately, he said, "Do you know if he was ticketed?" And I said, "Well, Dad, I'm not trying to be callous right now. The dude, he had a very severe accident. He's, had all, this surgery, and his legs are smashed, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know." And he said, at the very least, this is a reckless driving type of thing, right? I go, "Dad, I don't know. You tell me." Nobody wants to talk about that at first because you don't know the severity of his injuries, etc., and you want to let the facts play out, okay? Now that we know the severity of his injury, and it sounds like he's on his way to getting healthy and everything, right. The questions are going to be coming in. And Tiger told deputies he didn't remember driving. He doesn't know how the crash happened. He said the same thing at the hospital while he was being treated for those injuries. He was initially unconscious. They do not have any evidence of impairment. The questions are going to come. And again, I'm not going to sit here and say he was drunk, he was high, whatever the case may be. I'm not going to say that. But
he just didn't. He doesn't remember anything.
He doesn't remember anything. The question is, how did that happen? That I mean, to me, that's a listen. Have I had my head down and had to slam on my brakes or something like that? Have I looked at my cell phone while my kids go crazy when I do that? Like, that's one good thing about the young generation. The kids do not like that. They're like, "Dad, put your damn phone down." And so, like, I listen to them. Mm-hmm. After I break it, because Joik just texted me. What does Joik want? "Dad, put your phone down."
That's funny. That's funny because you never answer my phone calls when I call. It's crazy. I don't. At least Art answers the phone. Art always answers.
Okay,
the phone.
All right. No, before we continue with this, I need to.
Art, don't you answer the phone?
Well, yeah, because it's always work related with you.
Yeah, but Joik, I know one time you called me, I answered it. But there have been times where you called me. One time I was at a hockey game, and the other time I was visiting my dad, and I couldn't pick up the phone.
And the other time you had your phone on silence.
I did have my phone on silent one time.
Yeah, he forgot about that.
That's a true story. I did have my phone on silent one time.
Hey, you have some fish?
No, but I'll say it's addicting when you're driving in the car and you have your phone.
Oh, absolutely it is. Absolutely.
Hi, Art. That's what we needed to. You made me wait.
Hey, good job, Fish. Always love when Fish comes on. He comes with that heat. What's up? You have some, Art?
Yeah, Tiger's previous convictions and what we know about him in the news and everything, and the infidelity and everything. How much of that plays into a part the rumor mill right now? To me, I think it's 100%.
The people perception.
Yeah.
You're guilty until proven innocent. And when stuff like this happen, they want to bring up your past. People can grow. People do get better. People do grow to make better decisions. But as a society, we like to keep people in the past.
You're absolutely right. You are 1,000% right. I mean,
Exhibit A of me always telling you, the media takes you here. So when this happens, it's a bigger story.
Sean,
all the time.
Real quick.
Hold on, Art. I know, Art. I know you hear me talking, Art. And then we talked about respect earlier on this show. Then we talk about that.
It did come up.
We spoke briefly about it earlier.
It did come up.
What is it, Art? What's so important that you got to come out?
You're not going to like it, so I should probably just skip it. I was going to say, Sean said that you were 100% correct, but I'm the one who brought up the point. So I would like Sean to say that I'm 100% correct. That's what I was. Sean, would you like to say I'm 100% correct? I'm the one who brought up the point, not Joik.
You didn't give an opinion or state a fact or anything. You just said something.
The trauma of an accident, especially if you lose consciousness, people don't remember things. Jenna said he's a human being. My goodness, thank God he didn't die.
Thank you, Jenna.
Sean says what had happened was, well, you know what? Listen, the question's going to come up. Okay, so how did the accident happen? And that would be, and again, having a father that was an accident reconstructionist, he's already, as sick as my father is, that never leaves him, right? And he's going, have you heard more about this? I go, Dad, I have no idea. I'm just okay. I'm happy the dude's okay, and forget about golf. He can go be dad, all that stuff. If he golfs again, great. And my dad was like, okay, I get all that, all right? And I'm not trying to be callous. He goes, at some point in time, somebody has to investigate that accident. And he was like, have you heard any more detail? And I said, nah, it's weird. Detail. Now, Jenna said that there was a story that he swerved to get out of the way of another car or something. I don't know. And sometimes, and a few people brought this up.
Is that a witness said that? Because he didn't know anything when he got to the hospital.
Yeah, listen, I can tell you point blank, I got a concussion when I was younger that I have zero memory of the how. Like, people have recreated it for me. My mother in particular told me, oh my goodness, you did like a full spin and then fell flat on your face and all that stuff. Like, Joik, I'm not joking. There's I'd say a 3-hour span where I have no idea what happened for 3 hours. I remember waking up in the hospital and everybody was kind of standing around me, and people were going, okay, you can't fall asleep, because back then the big thing was you can't fall asleep when you have a head injury. And I remember I was so tired, and people kept saying, no, you can't go to sleep. But I don't remember. There's 3 hours. I'm telling you, I don't remember. There's nothing there. There's zero there.
It happens that way.
So is there a case of that happening? Sure. And I hope anybody watching, I think I can speak for you here, Joik. I'm not making any allegation against the guy. I don't know. I mean, today, people can just throw something against the wall to see if it sticks. What I am saying is there are people out there whose job it is to investigate something like this to kind of get to the bottom of how that happened.
Exactly.
Steve said because of his past, he'll always be questioned. Jenna said,
and that sucks, son.
Yeah.
That sucks. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate it. At one point in time, too, do you go through your rehab? You do your time. You go through due process. You go through all this, and you have to deal with the media. Then you have to deal with everyone outside of the sport. Deal with the fans, the supporters, people who disagree with what you've done, and like you can't please everyone. It gets to a point to where
you stop caring.
Do I care what you say?
That's exactly it. You stop caring.
Do I care? Can I go to sleep at night? Do I have peace within my own inner self?
Amen. All right. You can't fight what you can't see. I mean, I said that when Terry was here. I mean, our business is like that.
72-hour rule.
And you hear that things are out there and everything. And you know what? I had a dear friend say to me once, this is the quote he said to me, those that need to know. And that you know what? That I'm totally cool with that. So you can say whatever you want about Joik Bell or Sean Baligian or Art or Fish or whatever, and it's like, I can't control what you say, but those that need to know, the type of person you are, that I am or whatever, they know. You can't fight what you can't see. And these are things that are going to happen with Tiger Woods, and you've already seen it happen, and a lot of them got shouted down in the immediate aftermath of that accident. But now those questions are going to be asked. Those questions are going to be asked. Okay, so how did the accident happen? And look, it's the job of people like that. Do you give the guy a ticket for reckless driving or careless driving or whatever the case may be? How does that work itself out? When you go about having an investigation into this, it's almost like the tragedy of a plane crash, right? I mean, think about the tragedy of a plane crash, and I hate to use this, but Kobe, right? What did it take, about a year for, the what's the name of the NTS? Is that it? Is it the NTS?
I don't know.
But they did their investigation for it came out like a year later. You have to do things like that. Unfortunately, there are going to be people out there that say, well, because Tiger Woods was hooked years ago, people are going to say things like that. I mean, that's just the reality of it. I mean, to me, that doesn't mean that, for an officer or an accident reconstructionist or whatever the case may be, that doesn't mean that you don't go about doing your job to the best of your ability. Kevin said, I heard he was late, so he was probably speeding, and that particular road has had a lot of accidents. Mason said, I'm in school right now learning about sports medicine because of my degree, but I'm getting concussions are a big thing in every sport, but every big right now in sports like hockey and wrestling. Yeah, it's been out there for a long time in hockey. It's kind of, trust me, they've been having conversations about this for about 25 years. And Lynn, this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. In this day and age, people are found guilty before the investigation has been done. It's horrible. That kind of goes off to the rant that I had yesterday. Today, we have to, as a society, get to the point where we can agree on simple things. It doesn't make you any less of a Republican. It doesn't make you any less of a Democrat. It doesn't make you any less of a woman or a male. Like we have to agree on simple things, and we don't agree on simple things anymore.
Right.
And that said, you know what? Let's let the facts speak for the investigation. I'm sorry when I hear people say, well, we have to, here, I'm going to give you an example. And if I offend some women out there, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. We have to believe the woman. No, you know what I have to believe? I have to believe the facts. That's what I have to believe. I'm not automatically going to say when I hear an allegation, I'm not automatically going to say, well, I believe that person. I'm sorry. We have to have due process. We have to let the facts speak, not emotion, not what you think about a particular person. We have to let the facts speak. And once the facts are presented, then let's make that education.
Just a true pro,
right? It's just Joy Kids. I don't know what happened. It's Terry and I were talking about it this morning. It's like Terry had a funny line. He goes, "When it's my riot, it's okay. And when it's your riot, it's not okay." That bothered me like immensely the last 6 months. Watching various riots happen, and people trying to say, well, that's not a riot in Kenosha, Wisconsin, or that's not a riot at the Capitol. No, it is. It is. It's bad. Don't riot. I'm down with whatever cause you are, and sometimes not down with whatever cause, but I support your right to peacefully protest 101 times out of 100. But the second that you go about doing unlawful things, I have to call it a riot. I have to call it unlawful. I have to say, hey, starting fires isn't good. Breaking into the Capitol isn't good under any circumstances. But everybody gets out their excuses, and unfortunately, something happened. I don't know what happened, but we as a society, we can't even agree on things like that today. And it makes me sad. It really does. It makes me sad.
It happens.
People got mad at me yesterday about what I said. I didn't say anything that was false.
You said everything you wanted to say. You used to never feel
No, I'm not going to apologize for it.
No.
If you can point out something false I said, I'll own it. The problem is you can't point out anything false I said. And so, therefore, that's when the name calling starts, and that's when this, and that's
is that because
if anything, you're proving
that's communication.
Yeah, if anything, you're proving my point. Thank you. You're proving my point because it wasn't an opinion. I spoke with fact, and thank you. You're proving my point. That we can't even agree.
You spoke with some opinion, but you also stated facts behind your opinions.
Well, I probably did, but I think the crux of it is, for example, what people got mad at. Governor Whitmer broke the law in the state of Michigan. That's not an opinion. That's not me saying it. The Michigan Supreme Court did. But if you want to argue, don't argue with me. Argue with the Supreme Court. What? Why are you mad at me? I'm just telling you what happened. And the Supreme Court said so. That's not political. And that's what I'm talking about. Like today, we can't even agree on simple things like that. We can't agree that let's let the facts play out about what happened with Tiger Woods, and then we'll draw our conclusion once the facts play out. No way. We can't do that. Why would we do that? It's crazy. We need to have like a, what's the word I'm looking for? We just need to all kind of
had that come to Jesus talk.
Yeah, like the entire country.
My mom would say that.
I feel like the old guy right now, but then I see younger people say the same thing. Like, what happened? How did we become so disconnected? Like this is common sense stuff. I don't know what happened with Tiger Woods. You can make any assertion you want. I'll choose not to. But let's let the facts play out. Let's let the facts play out. Let's let a toxicology report tell us what you surely know, doctor. Let's let an accident reconstructionist.
And this is what's going to happen. Everyone who's out here saying he was under the influence or he was intoxicated or he has some other things going on. Now, when it comes back and just say everything comes back clear, you're not going to hear anything from these people. They're gonna do that Homer Simpson when he backs back into the bushes.
That's exactly it. You're absolutely right.
Art?
Yeah.
What's
Dude,
wrong
I
with
always bring up Michael Irvin. I told you, I'll never forget Michael Irvin, like walking out of that courtroom and turning around and just snapping at the camera, and it was this look that breathed fire. And he goes, "I want you to go out and print and report everything like you have the last same weeks with the same attack with this." And it was like, dude, you're 100% right. Say what you want. Michael Irvin was an ass when he was younger. Michael Irvin would be the first person to tell you that Michael Irvin was an ass, okay? Mm-hmm. But you know what Michael Irvin wasn't? A rapist. He wasn't. And there's a big difference between being an ass and a rapist. There's a really big difference
it's a fine
there.
Line. It's a fine line.
Yeah, right.
It's a fine line right there.
What are we talking about here? And so those are the things that I don't. It's almost like in our earnestness for the salacious in situations, you automatically assume the worst, and people report it as such, and it drives me out of my mind.
You know
as
what
Fremont
really,
said, no
you know
more
what really
due
grinds
process.
my gears?
Do you know what grinds my gears?
You know what really grinds my gears?
No, it's a sad situation. Art, you look like a sad man in the other room. Are you okay right now?
Yeah, nothing's wrong. I'm working. I'm getting stuff for Joik. Joik, do you want to? When you're ready, I have your picture and video up.
All right, cool. So, so this is just up, right? So we talk about this with certain people. So, and this is nothing related with sports though. But so, this just came out and it was hilarious because I was just talking about this because have you ever heard that since the border in the South, say like that borders Mexico and like America is so heavily guarded that a lot of the cartel, they'll send their shipments up to like Canada and then bring it in through Canada through that border. And so recently they just caught a guy in a submarine transporting drugs from Canada through the Detroit River.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 6 years in prison. He must have gave some people away because he had a lot of work on there.
Okay, do you know what the funniest thing is? And I'm probably giving smugglers a heads up view. There are areas of the border in the northeast, like in the border with Quebec, where there's no border. There's nothing there. You can just walk into the United States. You can walk into Canada. There are areas, and if you don't believe me, you can search. There is a town, and you can. I forget the name of the town. I apologize, but there is a town. You can search it on Google. That it sits right on the border with Quebec, and there's a line down the middle of the street, and there's like a Canadian flag on one side, and there's the American flag, and the border goes right through the middle of a library. I'm not making this up. So you could type in library on the Quebec-U.S. border, okay? And so you can enter the library on the Quebec side and walk into America and in the library on the American side. Like, there's nothing up there. Like, there's no checkpoint. There's no, hey, do you have your passport or anything like that? It's crazy. You know, there are some areas where there's like, you know, okay, there's one area of woods, and then they cut out a clearing, and then once you get to the other area of woods, you're into Quebec. But look at, there it is. Art, man, you're good, dude.
Yeah.
Look, Joy,
That's it.
there's Quebec. There's Canada right there.
Right.
Walk in that building on one side, and you're America. Walk
that's
in
it
the
right
other.
there. You're
Yeah,
positive.
that's it. That's it.
So
Like,
you sure that's the library?
100%.
Okay.
100%. And the border, see the border on the other side of those flowers? On the other side?
Yeah.
Welcome to Canada.
Seriously.
Look at there. See what I'm talking
A
about?
little stone that says United States. That's crazy.
Yeah, I've actually been up there. And
That's crazy.
Yeah, there are like little. There's one that has. Gosh damn it, my memory.
That's
but
ridiculous.
there's a.
And you just drive off.
You can walk right in. No, just walk right in. There's no. There was one that said, "Please show your passport at the next guard crossing 2 kilometers down the road." You don't even have to go past it. You can turn down the little county road and circumvent it and just drive around and everything.
How do you know about
It's crazy because I've been up there. I've been up
doing
there.
some work.
Yeah, well, you know my cartel.
Doing some work.
How do you think I got my money, Joik? You kidding me? I've been selling barbiturates.
We selling bricks.
What are barbiturates, by the
don't know.
way?
You
It
been
just
selling
sounded,
bricks.
Did I say it right, Art? Barbiturates?
No.
Barbiturates?
Bricks. Just say bricks.
Bricks?
Yeah.
I got my footballs. Isn't there something called footballs?
Just
No?
bricks.
There's nothing called footballs?
Just bricks. Or
Yeah,
pounds.
but that whole area up there, it's really, I'm so unhip. I'm just so unhip.
Art, what did you say about Sean the other day? He's a what?
I don't recall, other than a great gentleman that I enjoy working with. I don't recall.
No respect. Now he's lying
No,
to your
what
face.
did you, no, you did, you were like, you're a nerd, or, no, you had a funny way to say it. I didn't have a problem with it.
I know. He said, well, he doesn't want to say it on there. Look at it. What
No, I don't. I do 2 shows a day. I can't remember.
I don't
you
know.
know?
I forget. Yeah, it was actually kind of funny.
It
Art.
was funny, and he's just sitting there acting like he doesn't know.
I don't remember, Joik. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, so Jenna said the media has to get a story. They don't
Check your
care about
phone,
getting
Art.
the facts
That's
out.
what you
They want
said.
the names and faces on the story first. It's
Oh,
disgusting.
I have no problem saying you are the whitest person I know. Yeah, that's.
I want to say, I just be real.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I
don't care.
do you think I care? I've got to mow my
That is
lawn
Sean
today.
Lee with the high 906. This is 92
Helltown,
outside.
baby.
I sell that jiggle. I'm all about the jiggle, baby. You know that.
He all about that whop and jiggle.
Is it true that we're going to get some wings and pizza shirts for at
We talked about
woodwardsports.com? Is that
Yeah.
Is that a real thing, Art? Are you?
I know that we have a true alpha male picture
Shirt.
on a shirt with Dan Campbell available at the Woodward Sports Store. I would love to see a wings and
We need
pizza
to have
shirt.
a WAP. We need to have a WAP shirt, and on the W it can have my face. On the P it can have Sean face, and on the A it'll have Kennedy's.
Now that's hurtful because that's hurtful. That you're doing it to hurt me right now, and I'm not going to react. That's a great idea, Joik.
It's a great idea. You like the idea, Sean? Hey, Kennedy, how you feel
My
about
middle
that,
name.
Kennedy?
My middle name is beginning with a P. By the way, I want to, for what it's worth. So
Yeah.
W for Wayne State.
Yeah.
A
No.
for Art. P for pizza.
P for peace. Well, the W. I actually have a W in my name, so it's cool. I have a W in my name. So
What's your middle name? You don't want to say it?
what's your middle name?
Paul.
Paul.
Yeah.
I like Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After my grandfather.
Dwayne.
Any significance behind it?
Yeah, I'm a junior.
Okay.
No, I'm not a junior. I'm the second.
I'm the fourth.
Huh?
I'm the fourth. In my
Are you really the fourth?
Yeah, my son's
Like
the
the
fifth.
fourth mistake or like the fourth?
So really, your son is
my name is Arthur Franklin Smith the Fourth, and then I have a son, Arthur Franklin Smith the Fifth. Yep. So go ahead, Joik. Pop off a joke.
No, it was good. I do like that idea. WAP, my face on the W, yours on the P, and then have Kennedy on the A. That's perfect.
I mean, she was here during the show. That's a great idea, Joik.
It was her idea.
And you know what? Here, she can. There's a spot right here.
No, we need to give Jenna some.
Alex, you want that spot?
No, listen, Jenna.
Come
I'm
and
not
get it.
forgetting. We need to give Jenna some of the royalties from this because it was Jenna that said wings and pizza on the Facebook page.
Yeah, we'll get right to that when you guys start paying me for the swear jar. You're not even paying the people in the building. Get out of here, Sean. Joik, you're number one now.
Oh my gosh!
When has that never?
That went quick.
Hey, what's that read, Sean?
If you feel good about your interest rate because it's in the 3s, get over it and call Hall Financial because rates are now in the 2s. Be smart and make the call because you could be saving money. Hall Financial is fast and they do all the heavy lifting. So all you need to do is go to davidhallmortgage.com now to get started. Listen, D Hall's been taking care of people forever around here. Hall Financial, lower payments, better options, more personal attention. We're going to talk some football when we come back. Scott Bischoff is going to join us as well. If you haven't checked out his mock draft yet, I know this to be true. Painstakingly did a mock draft for us. He's going to be doing some writing as well at woodwardsports.com. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out. Make sure you check out the draft show as well. We're going to take you all the way up to the draft, which I can't believe we're like not even 2 months away now. Like seriously, it just seems like this has flown. Pretty soon, Joik, I told you.
Not but 2 months. It's less than that. Gosh.
Well, it's the end of April and into early May, so it's less than 2 months. Yeah. And then the schedule comes out, and I turn into a little boy every time the schedule comes out. Don't you go anywhere. We're going to talk about the pecking order in the NFC and maybe some teams that are going in one direction, maybe some teams that are going in the other direction. He's Joik Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. Glad you could join us, Woodward Sports.
I mean, we're inside Grove Green right now, and they have everything. I'm talking, you got your active air fans, you got your big lights over there, big pots, little pots, and Joey, what are you doing right now?
Get some sun.
That's not what those lights are for.
Feels nice.
Go to Grow Green MI today to get all your growing needs and a tan.
Who's ever doing the Woodward Sports, like commentating on Facebook, he goes, honestly, Arthur Franklin Smith III sounds like an MFer who could do some taxes. That's a great.
Everybody laugh all at once.
No, dude.
My name is Royalty.
Hey,
Put some respect on my name.
Arthur Franklin Smith the Fourth sounds like a person who lives off of the third.
No.
Who lives off of the
You know
third.
what Arthur Franklin Smith IV sounds like? The type of dude I would want to take to a boxing match in Flint.
That's not happening.
Like if I had an extra ticket, I'd go. You know, I bet you Arthur Franklin Smith IV would really enjoy going to this boxing match. Am I number one again?
No, because you're bringing up something that we already went over. Joik made it clear he's got a half of a ticket. He can only take half of himself, I guess. He's only going to be able to put half of himself because he had one ticket, but it got cut due to COVID, so he can only bring up half of his body. Come up with some more excuses. Next time, don't dangle the carrot in front of me. I'm a hungry rabbit.
That's why he's not going.
That's what.
Good. I got plans anyway.
That's why he's not going.
That's why he's not going.
Somebody said we could use Alex as the A. Yeah, Alex.
Sit right here.
Alex,
do the show.
Jump in, Alex.
Come on, Alex.
Yeah, Alex. Alex, why don't you come up here, Alex? Look, Alex is going, no way. You're not getting me up there.
Look at Art.
Everybody thinks they can be me until they gotta be me. Get on my level. So sick of being disrespected around here. What's the next topic? I got something to do at
All right,
one.
Here we go. Real quick. Let's harp on this a little bit. Are the Cardinals a legit Super Bowl contender now? Legitimate.
No.
With J.J. Watt.
Playoff team? Yes. Legit Super Bowl contender? No. I think there's a big difference. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Can I tell you why?
Why?
I'm going to use your team as an example, and I'm going to apologize ahead of time. You were a good team, but were you going to win a Super Bowl? No. Were you capable of winning a playoff? Yeah. But were you going to win the Super Bowl as you were constructed? No. And I think that's where the Cardinals are going to be this year.
You think it's going to be coaching or talent?
Good question. I don't know what to make.
Because why do you think they're not going to be able to be?
I don't know. Because I'm not joking. I don't know what to make of Cliff Kingsbury as a head coach in the National Football League. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. I'm not being funny. I liked what I saw out of them last year. And whenever a team takes a big step when they weren't supposed to. Now, again, let's go back to the beginning. The Cardinals were a team that were supposed to be barren for years. They were a disaster. They made some shrewd picks. They took advantage of Bill O'Brien in Houston. And all of a sudden, they were able to get themselves some talent. And most importantly, the talent started with Kyler Murray. Okay? But do they have enough? Do they have enough? I don't think so. But could they be a playoff team this year? Absolutely. Look, they almost made the playoffs last year, and now you're adding J.J. Watt to the mix. Yeah. And is he the J.J. Watt of 3 years ago? No, but he's still a good player, right? He's still
he's a great player.
Yeah,
he's still a great player.
He's not.
He's not the J.J. Watt
defensive player of the year,
right? Yeah. But he's still a great player.
So I mean,
you got to look at them, and they have two of the top quarterback sackers since 2017, 18.
Yep.
Or was it 16? On the same team now, bringing pressure on the quarterback. Now, will you have that type of power in your defensive backfield, or on your defensive front? That's going to make a lot of everything easier for your defensive backfield. It's going to be something similar to what Tampa Bay was able to do to the Chiefs when they played in the Super Bowl. They didn't have to rush everybody. They was getting pressure on the quarterback with 4 guys. Come on.
Well, and here's what it comes back to me, and somebody brought this up. Kevin said, who's the running back and who's the wide receiver opposite of Hopkins? I'm still convinced that Larry Fitzgerald is just never going to ever retire. So and
he's been productive.
Is he a stud? No. You know who I like there? I like that Kirk kid. I think he's a pretty. I think that they are the type of receiving core that you can see today in the National Football League. And Joik, you and I have talked about this about the Lions. There is value to be had later in the draft with wide receivers. Okay, there is. You got to have a stud. I'm a firm believer that you have to have a stud, but then you can go get a guy in the 3rd round, a guy in the 4th round, a guy in the 5th round, and plug those in.
I think the guy you like is Kirk.
Yeah, I do like him. I do like him. I saw the Cardinals.
How do you feel about GT coming back to Detroit? I think that'd be a great pickup for
Would I like it? I would love it. I would be happy as a pig in slop.
Yes.
Would he want to be here for what everybody knows is a rebuild? I mean, only he can answer that question. He's one of my favorite athletes that I've ever covered, though. I'm serious. Yeah. I don't know how well we've never even had this conversation. Mm-hmm. I don't know how well you know him. He's one of my favorite athletes I've ever covered.
I didn't know that.
No, seriously, he's an absolute, he's a joy to talk to. He is, I think I told you this. We had, so we would do the post-game shows after the game, and, sometimes you guys would walk up, and after losses, we just assumed that you guys weren't going to walk up, right? Hey, you're scheduled to talk to whoever the case may be. Throw somebody out there. Well, if you guys lose the game, I'm not going to get mad at you, Joik, if you don't come up. I can understand. Seriously. I'm not trying to – I get it. I wouldn't want to talk to an idiot like me after a loss.
Well, but the thing is this, though. We have a job to do.
Absolutely.
If we have to come talk to you guys, we just have to come talk to you. I mean, we can have a conversation after a loss.
Sure.
We can control our emotions, and that's a big part of communication, right? Being able to express yourself without being so angry and being able to get your point across.
GT and Amendola were the two guys that came up. Didn't matter what happened. If you got crucified, if you won, didn't matter. Came up every time. And he's great. And his daughter just cute as a button. And he'd come out there. I'm a big fan of watching how guys interact with fans. And he was awesome. Sure, I'll take a picture with you. Hey, listen, I only got a couple minutes. Can we do this quick? And he just class act. Like, really a big fan of the way that Golden conducts himself. And I would love it if he came here on a personal level. This is going to say, why would he come back? If there's any kind of market for Golden Tate, and there should be, if there's any kind of market for Golden Tate, why would he come here? I'm sure I'm not.
And for the people who don't know that. The Giants just released Golden Tate as of yesterday. So he's on the market. What team, what prospects are looking at him right now? We don't know yet. It's still up for grabs. So a couple of teams I would like to see him go to, where he can go in and be, he can have an impact on the team. There's a few teams like that. Stay away from Houston is one thing. Stay away from there.
Let me ask you something, though. The other part of that, and I love, let me make sure that I get, it was Kevin, all right? I think that they have a quietly good wide receiving core, my opinion, with guys, the Cardinals. I think that, you got the stud, but you have some pieces underneath it. The kind of modern day receiving core. He's 1,000% right about their offensive backfield, though. I'm sorry, I'm not. Kenyon Drake isn't a 1. He just isn't. Sorry. I'm just not going there. And I think right now, and the same thing with what's his name, Edmonds. No, they need something more out of their offensive backfield. That is not even.
Could you see him going to a team like Buffalo?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he'd be perfect. I want you to now think about that.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't have to think about it.
Holy shit.
I thought about it yesterday.
Dude. With Cole Beasley.
Yeah.
With Freak. And then you could line up both of those guys in the slot? Dude. Well, you know what would happen? You and I could play in Buffalo and make things happen. You know why? Josh Allen's the quarterback.
He's that quarterback, and then you have those type of receivers going to take another guy out the box.
Oh, would that be fun? Yeah, that'd be fun.
Come on,
all right, here. You know what? Here, I got another one for you. Golden Tate going out to the desert.
To the Cardinals?
Yeah. Kyler's still a young quarterback.
Yeah.
Could you, dude? Yeah, I don't know what their financial situation is. Sorry, I don't have the cap in front of me, but my guess is it isn't that bad since they bottomed out a couple years ago.
And $8 to $9 million to be able to get the job done with GT.
Okay, do you know what Kevin just said?
What?
I hate to say it, but Green Bay is the perfect fit for Tate. Aaron Rodgers.
Why would stop? Don't say that.
See, right? Now it's getting personal.
No, Kevin,
Could
man,
you
those fighting words,
that?
Kevin. Those are fighting words.
Oh,
relax. I need you to simmer down, Kevin.
Oh.
You know what though? I mean, all due respect, I just can't see Golden going to Green Bay. I just can't see it. I can't see it.
Okay,
I don't want to see it.
You know as well as I do. You know as well. It's a business.
I don't want to see it.
Can you bring the two worlds together? Can you make the money make sense and the circumstances make sense? I think
Green Bay?
that would make sense for Golden Tate. And I hate to say it too. That would make sense for Green Bay.
It makes sense for a standpoint of he played in this conference. They were able to see him, twice a year. They know what he's capable of. They know how he can change the game. He's changed the game before, so multiple times. I just personally, I don't want to see him in Green Bay.
It's kind of like somebody not wanting to see a guy go to Chicago.
It's true.
I'm not sure I'm ever going to forgive you for that.
That's true.
I got to be honest with you.
Forgive me?
Yeah.
I'm not the one who wanted to walk away.
You went to Chicago, though. You could have gone anywhere. You went to Chicago. I personally felt like you were just saying, screw you, Sean. I really did. I did.
You made me upset, man. You made me upset. I say, you know what?
No, but you understand, like all jokes aside, there's just that a guy that you like going to a team that you've hated your whole life it really is. It's boom. I mean, it's like that's a shot across the bow, dude. And
who would you guys like this for Golden Tate to go? What team?
I think Steve brought up the Rams. Could you imagine him reuniting with Staff?
That's not bad either. That's ideal, actually.
Well,
he's from out there.
How would he and Woods fit in together? Because they kind of use Robert Woods, in a myriad of ways. The way that Golden Tate's usage. You know how sometimes Golden's going to run. Sometimes they gave Golden because get Golden in space. I mean, what does everybody say? Yak.
That's not the GM job. That's the coach's job to figure that out. You go out there and you get talent and you put it on your team.
Yeah,
that's what you do.
That'd be interesting.
You can have one that
two guys with that skill set. Because right. I mean, I'll ask Scott. I kind of think of Robert Woods like Golden Tate. Like you can use him in a myriad of ways.
Yeah.
It's what he does with the football when he gets in some space. I mean, there's a reason. Yak, right? Yards after catch. Everybody, like, those two things are Golden Tate, Yak. They're synonymous. They're going to be married forever. And Robert Woods is kind of that guy in Los Angeles. And, they use him on, almost like your jet sweep coming over from the wide receiver position, and they give him the ball like that. He seems like every year he runs 2 or 3 balls in. That'd be interesting, though. But Golden could... There's familiarity with the quarterback.
And they're probably in the office right now bringing in Stafford. Like, how do you feel about GT? How did you like playing with them?
Let me ask you something. Okay, you're late in your career.
That's the point.
And unfortunately for Golden, he is late in his career. There's no other way to say that. All right, so what's the mindset right now? Are you thinking get one more payday, or are you thinking where can I go the next couple years where I have fun, have a chance to win? It doesn't have to. You don't have to knock my socks off.
Out of there when you have a chance to win. Because when you're winning, you're having fun. Except if you play for the Patriots. So I've been told.
Yeah.
So I've been told. Yeah. So for him to make his next decision is going to be a team that has an opportunity to win, and a place to where he's going to be comfortable with his family. And honestly, the best place for him will probably be L.A. His home is in San Diego. He's right up the street. His family can go back and forth if they want. And he's at arm reach to everything he knows. So for me, I would say that L.A. would probably be the best option for him. Think about it.
Love that guy. He's always going to be a fan of his. Seriously, I loved him as a player. I loved talking to him. Just a really nice dude. I mean, no other way to say that. So, yeah, you know what? It's interesting, Joik, because I think, now this is just deductive reasoning, the Cardinals were a team that were this close last year, and I think they were green at times. If you remember, they lost that game to the Lions that they had no business losing. I think if those two teams played this year, it would be a far different story. And it's those little things that keep you out of the playoffs. I mean, one's going to assume, and you know what they say about assuming, it makes an ass out of you and me, but I'm going to assume that they're going to be better on principle alone because Kyler Murray's going to have another year under his belt. But now you add Watt and whatever they decide to do in a draft, it could be a dangerous little team.
It'd be a good team.
Seriously, could.
That'd be a good team. They might even make the second round of playoffs.
Yeah, I could see them winning a game.
Yeah, I can see them winning a game.
I guess, now that I think about it, the Packers are going to be the Packers unless Rodgers is out. You know that. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just Tampa's going to be Tampa. New Orleans should take a step back. I mean, when you lose Drew Brees, I don't care what anybody says. As much respect as I have for Sean Payton, I mean, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Players win games.
It's going to be. Well, here's the one thing that we learn this lesson every year in the National Football League. Okay, what we thought we knew, say in March, and what we actually know in October are two different things. And then we can say that again in December. And what I mean by that is, before a season starts, you look at the Cardinals and you go, "It's going to be a damn good team." And the next thing you know, maybe they get off to a 3-6 start, and people go, "Looks like it's not going to happen for the Cardinals again." Things change quickly in the National Football League. You lived it. Things change quickly. Yeah, and it's like
Drop of a dime.
So we might convince ourselves in October, boy, were we really wrong about the Cardinals. I mean, they're 3-6. They look like crap. And then all of a sudden you go through November, Joik, and they win 4 games, and they're 7-6, and all of a sudden they're sitting there. I'll use, you know who I'll get? The Super Bowl champion Tampa Buccaneers last year. About midway through the season, we're going, holy crap, here they come again. And then remember, they kind of went through that. They started to crumble a little bit, and they started to tumble down. And then all of a sudden, they kind of built it back up again. That's the National Football League is almost like a soap opera now.
It's a roller coaster.
It is. It's a roller coaster.
It is. You know what? You have a season full of emotions. You're going to win some games. You're going to lose some games. Yeah. What people don't realize is you can lose to a team, like a team that's 10-2 can lose to a team that's 2-10. People have to understand that even on that 2-10 team, this is world-class talent.
It's real.
Playing against world-class talent.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be just that one play that can shift the momentum of a game to give your team that edge. And when you're playing in these games, my favorite movie, any given Sunday, you can lose, you can win. You know, every dog has his day.
You know, I've always said that with coach winners about the Gleac. Okay, there's no such thing as an off week in the Gleac. There just isn't, and I'm not being serious.
You're not being serious?
Or I'm not joking.
Okay.
Almost any team in a given year can pop up and beat you. You know, you might look at a team. I mean, no disrespect, Northwood, right? Northwood comes into a game. They're 1-7. You're 7-1. If you go into that game lightly, Northwood's going to beat you, period. And it could be, I've seen the flip side of that. Years where, you know, there was something missing from Wayne State, and they went out and knocked off, you know, a damn good team. Yeah. So it's amazing. Now, that's not a hard and fast rule. It was a couple
teams in the conference we would never lose to.
Yeah, it's not a hard and fast rule, like I said. And there were a couple teams that were just downright
and those
bad.
Teams now are just dominant.
Yeah.
Like, we would never lose to Ferris.
Yeah.
Except for my freshman year, we lost to Ferris. But other than that, I don't think we lost to Ferris.
Yeah, and Anise came in, and I mean, guess what? I mean, they're the measuring stick now.
Oh, yeah.
I know Grand Valley doesn't like to hear that, but it's the truth. Ferris is the measuring stick
So
now.
are you saying that Grand Valley is the little brother now?
Yes, they are. I know they don't like to hear it.
I was at that game when they played.
That bothers them, but did you do that for Fox?
Yeah.
Did you?
So we went to the Ferris Grand Valley game, and Ferris got the best of them.
Yep.
It was good
Lynn
to see.
said any team is beatable. Northwood is my alma mater. One of my favorite, I'm not just joking, one of my favorite spots in all the Gleac, Joik. Do you remember where they play?
Who?
Northwood. Like Art. Seriously,
I hate that.
Just
dome.
north of Midland.
No, they play in this dome with like the astroturf that you can do.
No. They have the stadium in the middle of the woods. Like you drive through these woods at Northwood, you're thinking Northern, but
Northwood.
Yeah, Northwood.
Oh, okay.
Like Art, I'm not joking. You drive through the woods, it's like so picturesque, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of the woods, it's like, oh, there's a football field. It's so cool. Yeah, it's right on campus. It's so cool.
The field.
I love
you know
that
what?
spot.
They actually do have a good field. And the only reason I didn't choose to go to Northwood, it was 2 reasons actually.
You didn't want to be a Timberwolf?
I didn't want to be in the woods. And it took me having to go to the campus. I went to that campus. I did a mini workout for him, and then was with some of the players. And I'm like, what do you guys do here? And it couldn't really tell me anything. I was like, I don't want to spend 4 years in the woods. I don't want to do this. No disrespect to those kids who went to Northwood. No disrespect. And then another thing is, they, 2004 they beat Wayne State 73-3, and they set like an NCAA record on them. They beat them by putting up they had like 6 different.
Wasn't it Coach's first game?
I think that might have been his
I think it was Coach's first game.
Was it his first game?
I think
can't
it
remember.
was.
And so, but they ended up losing. But they had like 6 rushers on their team with over 1,000 yards or something like that. It was something crazy. And so when I told them I was thinking about Wayne State, they said, "Why would you go there? We beat them 73-3 last year. Why would you want to go there?" I'm like, "It's just on my, it's one of the schools that's on my list." And so I get back to Ben Harbor. I tell my head coach, like, "Yeah, they told me that. Why would I go there? They beat Wayne State 73-3." And my coach grabbed me. He looked me in my eyes and said, "Listen, if they ever tell you that again, you tell them you weren't there yet." It was like he was speaking to my soul. He was talking to my soul.
Dang.
And I said, okay.
Dang.
And I'm going to Wayne State. My first season playing, we're playing Northwood at Northwood, and we had lost to them. I think we lost to them the year before, but the year I played, I threw a touchdown round 1 and caught one. I think I might have told you that. And then we ended up beating them.
Did you kick a field goal?
No, we didn't kick field goals that game.
Oh yeah, of course they didn't need field goals because Joik was scoring the touchdowns.
No, it was a good game. It was a good game though. But yeah.
Did you talk? Did you chirp at all?
No, I was a freshman. I was just.
You didn't chirp at all?
No. No.
I want to hear you do the "Say My Name."
Say my name?
Say My Name. Muhammad Ali. That's one of my favorite. You know what he did against Sonny Liston, right?
Yeah.
Sonny
that
Liston.
That was Hillsdale.
Sonny Liston refused to call him Muhammad Ali. He called him Cassius Clay. He's like, "Clay, what's up, Clay?" And so Muhammad Ali's whooping him, and he kept saying, "Say my name." That's great. And so that famous picture, one of the most iconic pictures in all of sports, is like Ali standing over the fallen Sonny Liston, and he's going like this, and that's what he's saying, "Say my name." I think he's going to remember his name. I think he's going to remember his name after he wakes up, of course.
Yeah.
He's going to remember his name. Kevin said Tony Anise of Muskegon, Big Red fame, is a great coach and does things for his guys not many would. Coach Anise has made there it is. Look at there it is.
There it is.
Look at that.
Say my name.
Look at it. I'll say whatever the hell you want, dude. What? Just stop the beating. I'm done. What do you want me to say? I'm done. Thanks. I'm gonna lay here for the next 10 seconds and then.
But he got up and won that fight though, right?
No, he didn't. Not a snowball's chance in hell. Yeah. No, Coach Anise is. I don't think this is an overstatement, Joik. I think he's changed the Gleac. Coach Anise has changed the Gleac. As Grand Valley changed the Gleac 20, 25, 30 years ago, he's changed the Gleac. He has.
When did Grand Valley win that dynasty start? Was it early 2000s? Late 90s?
I think it was in the late 90s. But they had great teams going back to like the early 90s too. And great players that moved on to the National Football League. I mean, really. So it's been going for a while.
So did Wayne State.
But they went like this. Ferris has raised the level. Steve said Midland is a slow city. Lynn said the campus apartments were the bomb. Great memories. Yeah, it was backwoods and wasn't much to do, but we created our own fun. See, I mean, to each their own. Lynn, I'm the same way. I mean, I joke all the time. Joik, I've told you this. I would go live in the middle of the woods in the UP. Now, Art lived that life. Art, you said that wasn't for you, living in the woods and all that,
If I could move back today, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I'm ready to go back
I
up
would
north.
do it. Let's go. We both won't have families. My family was like, have a great time. We'll visit.
So you'll move up to the UP?
I would. I lived in Petoskey for a number of years, and I lived up north. And,
love that life.
In a heartbeat.
You love going outside and cutting wood?
I just don't. I like being isolated, like by myself.
Oh, that's why they built this box right here.
Yep, that's why I'm in here. Yep, so you don't have to see my beautiful face. That's it.
It's actually glass, so I can see your face.
Seriously, for me, it's like I always say, like the Houghton Hancock area where Michigan Tech is absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful. Like they've got these rolling hills. What people don't understand is how hilly it is in the UP. It's like a totally different state, and they have the creeks and streams, and Lake Superior is very close nearby. I'd hunt, fish.
You go skiing up there?
I can't. My knee. No way. But
You can go skiing.
Are you
sure.
kidding? I wouldn't want to. It's that phantom pain. I'm not. No, thank you. I'm not doing that again.
Oh gosh.
I'm still waiting for Joik to invite me to go hunting. I've got a spot up north. We could make it happen. You know, I'm trying more in this friendship than anything, and it makes me sound like I hate to use the swear jar. It makes me look like a bitch. So you know what? I'm just going to stop asking. No more fights. No more going hunting. No more COD. I'm done.
No more tickets to the fight. No more.
Good.
nothing.
I got plans anyway. I'm going to a birthday party for me. It's not until April.
No, you're going home to your wife so she can kick you back out. You back home already? No, go to the birthday party, Art. Get out the house.
You guys ask what's wrong with me. I'm just trying to get through this show.
Birthday party for me.
She's going to kick you out your own
Happy
birthday.
birthday to Art.
All right, when's your birthday,
Art's
Art?
got the cake in front of
All right,
himself.
when's your birthday?
April 11th.
Oh,
So you
well,
going to
you
the
know
birth-
what? We'll celebrate your birthday when you come at work. We said
It's
April
on a
17th.
Sunday. Thank God I don't have to be here for a show.
So you know what? 6 days later, you can come over my house for a barbecue. April 17th, okay?
I'll see if it's available on my calendar.
Keep it open, Joik.
He doesn't have anything in this calendar.
No,
He
we're
stays
gonna
isolated. He doesn't know
we're gonna
anything but
bring
play.
Joik and Art together.
He comes here, does nothing, and goes home, and then
Here's
does
my
nothing and say,
calendar.
"Oh,
Here's my calendar. I have stuff on my calendar.
What? I gotta go to
When
the
I work
bathroom
and when
at
I get my
6.
children.
I have to go to the bathroom at 6. I have to pick my
And
son up.
actually, if you look, on Friday, I have that I'm going to a party. And you're not invited, Joik. It's going to be by
Oh,
myself.
Goodness.
Good.
What was that? You must be on the Z list.
I love that. That makes me
celebrity.
that makes me so happy. I just awesome.
Can I ask real quick? So, Joik, you do have one ticket, though, right? Just one? Like, just to confirm.
Yeah, all I have is one ticket.
Okay.
My whole group we have what, 5 total? I have
Can't
one.
you just call Clarissa and be like, hey, your number one fan would love to go to the fight, and she can't pull any strings? That's your best friend.
No. I
Unbelievable.
won't put that type of pressure. The fight's tomorrow. I want to focus on the fight, not getting Arthur Franklin Smith IV a ticket to a fight.
You know what? I'll be
I
there.
wouldn't want a guy named like that at my fight. It's like bad luck. I feel like I'll look in the crowd and see a
Bad luck.
Okay, but Joik Bell.
hairless face, and I just get distracted and just.
You're
take a
named
second
after
pump.
something that people hit.
You said what?
I said you're named after something that people hit. Hit the bell. I'm named after a king. Get out of here.
Hey, and when that king died, what they do? They run the bell.
They didn't have bells back then
How you know?
because I was there.
Did you hear what Grammy Whammy said? Joik, take Art fishing with Papa. Could you imagine?
No.
No. Are you disrespecting your Grammy Whammy?
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He don't care.
No, my
Could
Grammy,
you-
my
I-
Grammy, my Grammy Whammy is disrespecting my grandpa. That's what she's doing.
Listen, I would pay anything to have
Grandpa.
like a video of that.
Grandpa, do you want Art to go fishing with us?
Papa,
and
Art,
you
you
respond
get-
on here,
and
not
Joik.
grandma. You
How
respond
many
on here.
ideas have
Tell
we
her
come
that
up
that's
with?
our thing, and that's what we do with our young ones. Cause we only take the firstborn boy fishing, never the second.
Okay, well, there's been so many times I've gotten my hopes up with you for nothing, so let's just not do it.
Stop talking to me with your hands.
I'll talk with you with my hands. We're
Hey, listen, man. We have a guest coming up next. One of the greatest in the game, in the industry. Scott Bischoff just walked in the doors. We're about to take a quick break. Stay tuned. Sean Baligian, Joik Bell. We'll be back.
What up, Doe? Listen, before we start talking to Scott Bischoff, Did you know that the price for an ounce is over $300? Why not start growing your own? With just one light, you can pull down up to 48 ounces every harvest. Do that math and then go see the crew at Grow Green. They have everything you need to start growing today and the knowledge to help you crush it. Check out the Dank Deals page at growgreenmi.com for some insane deals like bags of Ocean Forest or Cultivation Nation, 70-30 for just $8. Mention Woodward Sports for a free Grow Green T-shirt. By the way, I'm glad that Steve brought it up. Hunter Dickinson, Naismith, semifinalists. Michigan State, 2 big games tonight in Ann Arbor, the other one in East Lansing. Don't say there isn't anything at stake. Michigan State fighting for their, other than the obvious reasons, Michigan State fighting to get into the tournament. Michigan fighting for a 1 seed. It'll be fun. We'll see what happens over the weekend. Michigan State needs to, in all likelihood, win both games. We'll wait and see. Some people said win one and then win a couple games in the tournament. We'll wait and see. You really want to make a statement? Beat that great Michigan team twice, and it ain't going to happen. I think the best you're looking for, the very best you're looking for, is a split if you're a Spartan fan. That Michigan team is on another level. There's no other way to say that. I want to ask you something. There are 2 things before we get to your...
Can I make... Okay, I just had an epiphany. This is dangerous.
I know exactly where you're going with this.
Where are we going with this?
Are you talking about like the whitest guy ever reading about Dank Deals?
I cannot believe I just heard you read that. Like, I had to stifle laughter the entire time. Not that you did a bad job, just the fact that you're reading that.
What are you talking about?
You know how we do. You know how we do in L-Town.
Dank?
Yeah, he liked that
Explain
dank.
that. What is that?
You know how
Dank.
we do in L-Town.
Another word for that stank. Another word for weed.
Okay,
another
we're
word
good.
for marijuana, cannabis.
Oh, marijuana. Okay.
pounds, Dro.
Can we talk about that kind of
Gas.
stuff?
Yes.
I mean, it has many names.
No, it's just him
has many
reading it. It's ridiculous that he reads that as well as he
I mean,
does. He understands.
He's done it. He's read it a few times. He probably knows
He's a
about
pro's pro. All right, what were your
Give
questions?
us a call down there.
So there were a couple things, and I wanted to ask you. I even spoke your name. No, listen. So Golden Tate is out there and everything, and we were kind of discussing some of the things and places that Golden Tate might fit. And was it you? I don't remember who did it, but somebody said, "What about L.A.?" And he and Stafford, there's familiarity and all that stuff. But you know what my mindset was? Is he too much like Robert Woods? Does McVay use Robert Woods the way that Golden Tate would be used? Because line him up in the slot, move him around the place. Sometimes he's going to get the ball on some carries and everything.
Is it
Do
more
they
Cooper
already have
Kupp?
their goal? See, that's a good question. Is it Kupp or is it Woods?
But I think the interesting thing about his fit there is that all 3 of those guys can do everything, right? Like, if you want to play Robert Woods as your slot receiver, then those guys can play outside.
Sure.
If you want it to be Cooper Kupp, then they can play outside. If you want it to be Tate, he can play inside and outside. He's a playmaker, and I still think he's. I mean, what was it like playing with him?
Golden?
Yeah.
Golden's a playmaker. It's one play that stands out in my mind. We were playing New Orleans. I think this is 2014. I think Calvin was out. I think we were down by 21. I think I scored, got us down to 14, and then we probably was 4th quarter, and he made a play on the sideline when he caught like a 15-yard comeback or something like that, and took it 70, right? And got the momentum. We talked about it earlier about changing the momentum of the game with one play.
Flipping the field?
He scored.
Yeah.
Took it for 70, scored, and they gave our team the confidence we need to go through, and we actually won that game. And I would give a huge credit to Golden Tate for helping us get that.
He is just as
Love
dynamic
He's one
as
of
he
those
gets.
players.
Love the guy.
He's one of those players that it's not too many players like this. He's like a light switch. He can turn it on and off when he wants. There's not too many players that can say that.
Well,
And he has
and
that
it's
capability.
interesting. Steve said, Tate, Woods, Kupp would be deadly, and I couldn't agree with you more, but I want to take it a step further. And he said, that's the thing that people don't understand. Woods had 24 carries last year. I mean, the way that they utilize Woods is a lot like the way that you saw Golden Tate utilized here. Golden Tate got him some carries. Now, did he have 24 carries? No, but you saw Golden Tate, get some different looks and everything. And that was the first thing that popped into my mind is I was like, it'd be like adding another Robert Woods, who's, by the way, fly under the radar good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just fly under the radar very good.
Yeah, he's very good. It makes sense that you would have 3 sort of Swiss Army knife types. You would. And in that system with what McVay likes to do, that makes some sense.
Yeah.
Plus, you're right. I mean, the chemistry that that he has with Stafford already.
And,
that's the biggest play.
What I wanted to add to this, to
Yes.
Steve's point, look at this. Tate, Woods, Cup. This lends credence to the people out there that argue against taking a wide receiver early. Well, look at these guys. Why do we have to? Why don't you find a Galladay? Why don't you find a Woods? Why don't you find a Cup? Why don't you find a? I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm not. But the flip side of the go take a wide receiver early argument is why overvalue that position? You can get a guy in the 3rd round. You can get a guy in the 4th round. You can get a guy in the 5th round.
Because you can't have enough of them.
You got it. That's exactly it. Or, you know what? You're smarter than you've shown the last couple of years, and you take a guy like Brandon Ayuk later, and then all of a sudden you look really smart. Who's this kid? Well, now everybody knows who he is. You know what I mean? But no, to me, I don't know. If you sit back and you absolutely positively feel, pick any one of the big 3. There's 3 wide receivers this year. Let's use Waddle.
4.
Oh yeah, that's right. I keep
4.
forgetting about Pitts.
Yeah.
No, but if you absolutely positively feel Waddle is the best wide receiver, we've scouted him out, love everything about him.
Take him.
Take him. Don't even think twice about it. Who gives a shit if people said, well, you can get value out of the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th.
So then take
You're
one
taking
there
the best
too.
receiver in the game. Do you trust you? Joy, do you trust you? You say all the time, and I agree with you. Players know. Talent knows talent. Yeah. If you look at this guy, you go down the list and you go, this guy's flat out stud, draft him. Don't overthink it.
That's period. Now, you said Waddle. Only thing I'll be concerned about is just make sure he's clearing with the ankle. Make sure he's cleared. But
physically?
Physically.
Yeah.
That's it. For me with him. Everything else, I'm taking him.
Yeah. It's watching him play is like, it's really, he and Pitts, I think, are the two real rare offensive players in this draft with what they can do just with their physical stuff, just running. Pitts does it more, with the ball in the air kind of stuff. And he runs real aggressive too, but Waddle is so fast that if a defender gives him a little bit, it's over.
Separation at the end.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
Short, intermediate.
My point about
third
Golden
gear.
was, of course I'd love Golden here. But my mindset, why the hell would he want to come here? I'm not being mean.
No,
Like,
for sure.
why would he want, at this point in his career, when a guy like that, he can pretty much choose where he wants to go. Everybody knows what he
Think
is.
he'll go to Tennessee?
Yeah. Boy, would that be fun?
That's where he's from.
It's a nice fit.
Could you imagine that?
The thing about his style and the way he plays and what he brings,
It can fit.
he fits just about everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a team where he wouldn't fit? You know where he'd be great, honestly, if Godwin decides to move on from Tampa? Golden Tate would fit there. He really would.
Golden
he would
Tate,
do
Mike
everything.
Evans.
Yeah.
Holy shoot.
With what Brady likes, which is, hey, I need you to get open quickly
you
because
got
I
a
don't
couple
want to
of
see
tight
pressure.
ends.
But that's what he does best is get open quick.
Yeah.
Just get the ball in my hand.
Yeah.
Yep, and
He's
then
not
make
gonna be
guys
that
miss.
precise route runner you want. He's going to get open quick for you.
Yeah.
And then he's one of the best in the game when it comes to yak.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
So the reason
Yeah.
this came up is we kind of tied these two together. J.J. Watt obviously goes to the Cardinals. Now, I don't think you and I have talked about this. I like the Cardinals. They were a team that and I think part of the story is just a couple of years ago, everybody said, oh my gosh, this team's a disaster. They were. But they kind of gave you a blueprint of how quickly things can turn around in the National Football League. You take advantage of a moron, you get a great deal, right? And they did. They took advantage of a moron and they got themselves a great. Bill O'Brien's a moron. I mean that deal is brain dead level moron.
Yes.
I mean it really is. It was a horrible deal. That's going to go down as one of the worst deals ever. I'm not even being funny, okay? And I'm not saying that the deal that the Lions made with the Rams was brain dead moron. But that's one heck of a deal for the Lions. I mean, if you're the Rams, you can say the same.
No, it wasn't brain dead.
It wasn't brain dead, Moron, but it's a darn good deal for the Lions, and
deal.
it gives them some flexibility. Yeah. And that's what the Cardinals needed to give themselves. But the hard part is now. The Cardinals were able to make some good picks. The Cardinals were able to add to a base. And you know what, Scott? They might be ready to strike this year. Win a Super Bowl strike? No. But get themselves in the playoffs. So if anything, maybe, just maybe, if the Lions do things right, maybe this isn't going to take as long as we thought. Because, Scott, I know word around the league was, well, the Cardinals are going to be awful for years. And it didn't work out that way.
No, but that's what flipping the quarterback position can do for you.
Yep.
They drafted a quarterback early. He wasn't the guy. They decided to move on very quickly. Smart move.
Yep.
Yeah. And what did it get them?
Yep.
Doesn't mean it's going to work, but, you know, they look like they're a team that should contend. That's a tough division.
Here's your question.
Right? Division is so tough.
What do you think it'll take for a team to be able to grab Golden Tate? What do you think? What do you think the offer will have to be? You think and what do you think is going through Golden Tate's mind when he thinks about going to a certain team? And what
he's a rare athlete, so I'm not sure I could jump inside his head to try to figure any of that stuff out.
I'm gonna tell you right now, what teams are going to do is they're going to look at his numbers. All right, what do you do this past season? You know,
with Daniel
4 games,
Jones,
35 catches.
When do we have that conversation, by the way,
2
Scott?
touches,
Are we allowed to have
88
that?
yards.
Yeah. I think there are two ways to think about Golden Tate.
I went on his page about it. I told him I didn't like him in New York. It wasn't utilizing him correctly.
No.
He's not playing. I'm like, why do you guys?
He had some thoughts about it as well and ended up sitting, as you recall. He was very vocal in New York, which is not the right place to be vocal, and he ended up sitting. But with that being said, I agree with both you and Golden.
I know his wife was vocal.
It was terrible the way he was being utilized, and so it was his his wife was saying it, but of course they're going to blame him. Yeah. She wasn't wrong.
No, not wrong at all.
Do you know what the problem is?
And then when I commented on his page, they tried to, I got a lot of likes and a lot of comments under it, but I'm like, bro, I hate you in New York.
Well, do you know what the problem is? And this is what I alluded to when you heard me say, when are we going to have that conversation? When are we going to have the conversation that Daniel Jones isn't very good? Are we allowed to have that conversation yet or no?
Not yet.
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Because they really haven't given him all that much to work with, and I don't know that play calling's done two things. One of them's going to be really don't lean over and punch me after I say this, but I think the Saquon Barkley stuff, he's coming over. I'm in trouble.
I know.
Is he here?
No, go ahead. Say it.
It's a problem. It's a problem to feed him the ball and to make him the absolute focal point of that offense. Well, it stifles the passing game.
He's the star on the team.
He is. He's a stud. He is a rock star.
Can I bring up a
he
point,
is as good as it
that
gets.
He brought up 3 years ago, and I remember this. You brought this up 3 years ago.
And I can say he sucks off of Jones sucks off of that.
Do you know what?
I mean, look at Tannehill.
All right, let me ask you something though. To that point, okay, the point that he brought up 3 years ago, I thought was brilliant, and I remember this. He loved Saquon Barkley. He wasn't sure if Saquon Barkley was the right choice for the Giants, and his logic was this. I remember you saying this, and I was like, "That's really smart." He said, "By the time the Giants switch the quarterback, because we didn't even know Daniel Jones was going to be a Giant at the time, but by the time the Giants switch quarterbacks and move on from Eli, how many years into Saquon's career are we going to be? 4, 5, right? And then at that point in time, what's happened? 4 or 5 years of traffic accidents, of him getting the ball, not like Joyke Bell, not like Reggie Bush, but getting the ball as much as Joyke Bell and Reggie Bush. And I remember you said that, Scott, plain as day, and I was like, wow, you want to talk about playing chess.
And defense is really not really in heaven. They don't have to worry about much else.
And already that poor guy, as talented as he is, has got the shit kicked out of him.
Because they're running him into the ground.
Yeah,
yep.
And throwing the ball to him. And
so by the time his logic was...
the logic is this. You don't really have a say-so when you get drafted. But when you go unsigned as a free agent, as a rookie free agent, you get to pick what team you go to.
Sure.
So is Golden Tate in a scenario where he has to pick, I want to go play for a contender, and I will take a a deal that makes sense for both the team and myself because I want to win.
I think 3 to 4 million get it done. I said 8 to 9 earlier, but
what if he goes to a place where there's just no chance of winning, but he just I got to get paid, and so that's where I think it's at.
So I think a team like LA will probably be the best fit for him, just because he has that relationship with the quarterback. He's in the later years of his career. He already has that chemistry with Matthew Stafford. He knows how he likes to play. Stafford knows him. He knows he's a playmaker. They're probably having this conversation. They probably already given Matthew Stafford a phone call.
Arizona makes sense too. They don't have really anything outside of Hopkins.
I like Kirk.
I mean, they have Christian Kirk, but he's more of a vertical player where Golden Tate would make things a lot easier for Kyler Murray.
But think about
important stuff.
Let me go back to Saquon, because I know running backs are obviously near and dear to your heart. His mindset was, by the time the Giants are going to be good, by the time that they make that switch and get that quarterback in,
I'm going to have a lot of miles on me.
Exactly.
That's DeAndre Swift right now.
Yeah.
What are you doing with him 3 years from now when you're not competitive for 2 or 3 years and it's contract 2 time? And you're starting to get competitive. What do? Do you draft another one and let him go? Because that's where it's trending. It's nuts.
Joik, seriously, that's got to ring true with you, because you guys are all thinking about contract 2. I mean, that's what
I was thinking about contract 1.
But you get once you knew, I'm an NFL player now.
All right, so
I'm an NFL player.
Every player's different, right? So it's not like you come in the league and everyone has that same mindset, because a lot of guys who come in, they already got that fat contract. I came in with CJ Spiller. We were roommates. He was first round.
Who else was in Buffalo? Who else was in Buffalo?
Fred Jackson.
You like Fred Jackson?
He knows I love Fred Jackson.
Oh, you like Freddie?
It's
like
fantasy
Freddie
stuff because he catches lots of passes.
Oh,
he's super productive.
He's that guy. But I'm gonna talk about our class coming in. You have a guy like C.J. Spiller. We had
Jonathan Dwyer.
No, I'm talking about just Buffalo.
Oh, in Buffalo.
Yeah, in Buffalo. So guys who got drafted with us. We come in. We have the mindset of. They have the mindset of, okay, I got to play well if I can get my second contract. I'm trying to get my first contract. You guys are getting paid, on average, whatever it is, and I'm getting what I'm getting a week. I'm like, I got to get that. I have to get that type of bag. I got to get my first real contract, right? And so my whole time, I'm focusing on getting my 4 years in, and getting to my big bag. Now, it didn't happen until my 5th year, but it happened. All right, it happened. And when it happened, I'm like, wow, all that hard work, it's paid off. All right. And so for me, it was just getting to my first one.
And you're a good human being too, because I remember, and this deserves to be mentioned, when you got your bag, you made a very generous donation to your church. I remember that, and I know that deserves to be said. You're a good man.
I donated to my church, but what you're talking about, I donated to the W.
Oh, you did that as well. No, I know you did both.
Oh, okay.
I know you did both. That deserves to be. You deserve. Most guys are like me, and me, and you. I remember that you were like, yeah, dude, you were. Yeah. Much love for that. Seriously,
I appreciate that.
You deserve credit for that. So I hope I'm not embarrassing you by bringing that up. But
you are.
Well, no, you know what I did? I said that's a window into your soul, dude.
Yeah, it speaks to your character.
You're.
Well, thank my mom. Don't thank me.
I'm going to thank Grammy Whammy.
Thank Grammy Whammy.
All right, I'm going to thank Grammy Whammy. All right, we're going to come back. We're going to talk. He and I are going to talk about his mock draft, which I'm telling you, he worked on it for how long did you work on it?
38 plus days. No, way too long. It's way too long.
It's a process. It is a process, and we're going to talk about that on the draft show. But we're going to touch on some of it before we get out of here today. I do want to tell you before we go to the break about my bookie. No matter the sport or season, you can always win big now. Non-stop action, 365 days a year. NBA, NHL, UFC, baseball, you name it, they got it at my bookie. Nobody does prop bets like my bookie as well. Celebrity divorce, all Valley Karate tournament. Yeah, they got you covered. March Madness, of course, right around the corner. Start building your bankroll, but you have to take the initiative. Do yourself a favor. Get a head start. Sign up today with promo code Woodward and get your first deposit match halfway up to $1,000. That is free cash credited to your account instantly on top of your deposit. Now, the best part is you always got access. It's right here. Whether you're at home or on the go, visit mybookie.ag today and use promo code Woodward to grab yourself a deposit bonus. Bet, win, and get paid at MyBookie. Joik Bell, Sean Baligian, special guest Scott Bischoff. Glad you can check in with us game on a Thursday right here at Woodward Sports.
You don't fumble the ball at work. Hey, Joik Bell, Sean Baligian. See you guys next weekend.
Thanks, mate. Oh, Bell's soft. Wait till it comes to New Zealand. Sure that.
Commercial? Isn't that commercial?
Pretty
That
good.
commercial's great. I love
5 points
Fish's
of contact.
joy. I love Fish's joy when
Joy- You can't.
and then he's tossing the ball to himself as he's walking
I don't
away.
know if you can hear him say it on there, but Fish, what did you say when you took the ball?
You're not very good. It's short answer.
What did he say?
I didn't hear him.
I didn't hear
hear
you.
I didn't hear him.
You're not very good.
Oh, I'm not very good.
No.
Fish.
Fish, you
He got you.
You are a gem, dude. You really are.
Oh, yeah.
Scott, you did. You see what Steve said? 20 push-ups, Joik.
That's about right.
20.
No,
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. I'm done.
All right. So, Scott,
Yeah.
when you go about doing these mock drafts, what did you learn doing the mock draft? Is there anything you pick up during the mock draft?
I learned that it's an exercise of utter stupidity. I did, and I've known it, but it's one of those things where, like, you got to do it every once in a while to recognize how dumb it is to continue doing it. It's silly. If with pick 4, you change it up, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, well, where I had everybody else just doesn't make it doesn't make sense anymore. Not that it makes sense to begin with, but it's just. I mean, how seriously are you taking them? I mean, they need to sort of fit, right? Like, you kind of want to have a player go to a team, or at least a position go to a team, right? I mean, there's really no other way to describe it. It's like you wouldn't send a quarterback to Cleveland. You wouldn't send a running back to. You know what I mean? You need to pair up needs and team, and then it gets complicated and tricky because it's just. I don't know. Who knows where these guys are
always
drafted?
talk about, okay, and I feel sorry for Scott for having to do this, and I feel double sorry for you because you work with somebody who is a mockaholic.
Did you read the whole thing?
My name is Sean Baligian, and I'm a mockaholic.
So, question:
Okay.
Did you have another one before this one right here?
No. And this is why it's important to do the first one, because that's sort of the foundation going forward. This is the strength of the player. This is kind of what he does well. And then there's a little in there about how he fits the team. So the next mock draft I do, it's all generally there. It's just kind of shuffling the deck a little bit, if that makes sense.
Shuffling the deck.
Well, and the thing that we don't
Yeah.
know, here's what we don't know, and I always bring this up, okay? I don't know what teams' boards look like, okay? I don't know. Like, Holmes came out the other day. Holmes claims he loves his quarterback class, right? Loves his quarterback class. Is he being 100% honest? I don't know. It's lying season.
Well, he can love the class and ignore it.
Yeah, you can. Yes, but both things. You can love it and ignore it, or he could be partaking in what's called lying season, not lying.
I mean, I love pizza.
Lying.
I don't eat it.
It could be he could be
pissed about
lying,
that.
and it could be a smokescreen designed to create some interest at 7.
Yeah.
And he could be sitting back going, "Please, dear Lord, let one of these teams, let the Washington football team, may Martin Mayhew give me a phone call and say, we really want 7 overall, and we're going to give you our 19th pick and our second-round pick, and we're going to throw in a third-round pick next year," whatever the case may be, right? So I don't know, and I don't know, furthermore, how they've graded these players out. I don't know.
Who cares at this point? It's pre-free agency. It's pre-everything. So that mock draft, I'm not trying to say that it's worthless, but I wrote almost 5,000 words of. I mean, it's entertaining. You can read about players and stuff, but it's before really a lot of decisions have been made to begin with. So, you know what I mean?
You did it for me, didn't you?
The whole time I did. I thought about you.
You were thinking about me.
I was the whole time.
You're such a nice human.
Yeah. And I thought
nice.
about you. I put a running back in the first round.
Who?
Travis Etienne.
Oh, that's your guy.
I kind of like Javonte Williams, but Etienne's really good. In Tampa, he'd be great. Catching the ball out of the backfield. Brady loves to throw to running backs. He'd be a nice fit there.
I don't know they're going with a running back first round.
I don't know if they are either, but that's what I put in there.
I know the Lions aren't going for a running back in the first
Why
round.
not? We need one.
They're not going for a running back. They're not going.
They need a complement to DeAndre Swift.
They are not
Do
going.
you think
for
they're
a
going to
running
bring
back.
AP back? No.
No.
Why not, though?
I would love to talk to you about that, and probably some other time because it's really
No,
long.
bring it
but
up now because I love
Bring it
your
up.
theory on Adrian Peterson.
stylistically, he just doesn't fit. Did not fit with Stafford. He's more of an I formation, deep set back,
Runway.
and needs room to get up to speed to be able to run through contact. With Stafford playing in shotgun and a lot of pistol, it wasn't a great fit for what Peterson did. And there were moments last year when they were giving Peterson
You know
the
what's
primary
good?
carries.
Yeah, hey, you know it's good? Stafford's not here anymore.
Exactly. So do we know, certainly, do we know that he's not a fit? I know he wasn't a great fit for what they wanted to do last year. And you could see it, the offense bogged down with Peterson as their primary guy. And you could see the offense pick up with Swift. So, I don't know. I'm not sure he's a great fit. I think it's...
I don't think he hurts us in that backfield. I don't think he hurts us.
No. I mean, he did. I think he did last year. He hurt the flow of the timing of their offense.
We haven't seen what Dan Campbell says they want to be. But based on what Dan Campbell says they want to be, doesn't it sound like Adrian Peterson kind of fits?
I mean, maybe, but there are players you can draft who run real physical like that too. I mean, Adrian Peterson's older.
He's older, but he's still productive.
Oh yeah. I mean,
still productive.
if you're gonna design something for him around him,
I'm
then
saying,
sure.
is he worth that and bringing in for another $1 million? And that's cheap. It's cheap. With the leadership and his experience that he can give to the younger players,
I think that's a steal for him. And if it keeps them away from drafting one, then yes, please do that.
Yes, I think we bring him back.
I don't think he will be.
Huh?
We'll see. I don't think he will be.
He might not be, but why not?
I don't think he will be.
Do you think he's out the league, or do you think he's just
I think somebody will take a chance on him. I think somebody will take a chance. I think he'll force his way onto somebody. I will. He's got some financial difficulties too, so it is in his best interest to catch on with somebody. He hasn't done a real good job with his money, and that's not a laughing matter.
That's
I don't
Google.
care what anybody
That's
says.
Google.
Yeah.
That's Google. Anybody can Google that.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I mean, he still fits. It's not like he's not an NFL running back. He still is. It's just a matter of is your offense designed to run, I formation with him 7 yards behind a quarterback in shotgun? And if it's not, I don't know if he fits what you want to do. But if that's what you want to do, and you want to bring him in to spell, a player who might need to sit a little more to keep his legs fresh, he makes sense. He does.
Yeah.
He's still very effective. It's just
He is effective.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I think he averaged over 4 yards to carry last year.
I don't know what his. I know it decreased as the season went on.
Do you know what I saw? Do you know what I saw? Flashes of the old Adrian Peterson earlier in the year, and then they became less frequent as the year went on. Yeah. You'd see him only occasionally.
Is it because
is
it because of the game planning?
I don't know.
On other teams,
your guess is as good as mine. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if he's in, there's a really good chance you're running.
Yeah.
So you're stacking the box.
Yeah. So it's game planning.
Yeah.
And we have to go back and watch film to see what type of defensive front were they in earlier on in the season versus on the end of the season. Like that changes, right? And then you got to take into factor, like it's later on in the season, your body deteriorates
Beat
throughout
up.
the season. And you get beat up. You know,
Especially when you're older.
Yeah, especially when you're not healing as fast.
Oh, he's one of the best I've ever seen.
Oh,
I
he's
mean,
incredible.
Let's give him his due.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible.
He's one of the best I've ever. And I don't. I'm not a guy that throws that out there. He's one of the best I've ever seen. Clearly, he isn't that guy anymore. Do I think there's a place for him in the NFL? Sure.
Is he in your top? Is he in your top? What 15?
All time?
No. This year.
No.
I mean, as far as what you saw.
No.
Of top 15 of running backs?
Yeah.
No, it's a young man's game.
It's a young man's game, and I think you need versatility. And I don't think he has that versatility.
But Frank Gore has been in your top 15 for the past.
Frank Gore is inhuman, though. That
Is
doesn't
AP
count.
human?
You can't count. You can't count cyborgs.
Is AP chasing Frank Gore right
No,
now?
you know what? AP was at one point. I used to call him. I used to call him the
You know
cyborg.
what though? I saw an interview with him where he had a lot of off the field distractions the past couple of years during the
Absolutely.
offseason. And so he said because of that he wasn't able to train the way that he knows he's capable of training. But throughout this offseason right here,
Can
he
I
said-
call me out?
Yeah.
I am guilty of having preconceived notions of Adrian Peterson. I'm guilty. 100% guilty. What I thought Adrian Peterson was in my mind and the guy that came here, two different things. 100% guilty. I read a lot of the stuff about Adrian, and I never talked about it publicly, but in my mind, I kind of thought to myself, all right, this he's flaky. There's something off about this dude. Joik, Scott, wonderful guy.
Yeah.
Like serious, wonderful guy. I don't know what's gone on in his life and the
Who
whole
is
thing.
this?
Adrian Peterson,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Because you're not making it 15 plus
'cause-
years in the NFL
Wonderful
without
guy.
being a
I mean-
great teammate and being somebody that people care about.
Just always smiling.
Always.
His teammates spoke highly of him. It was just like,
You know,
I'm glad I never verbalized my personal feelings about Adrian Peterson because I'd sound like a big ass right
it's
now.
funny because when he got into town, I actually got a phone call from him. He called me.
Yeah?
And we talked briefly about some stuff. I mean, so I have a personal kind of connection with him just as far I know what he wants for the city. I know what he wants for his life.
Does he want to stay here?
Huh?
Does he want to stay here?
We'll see.
I think he has
He
to
won't
get
mind
paid.
staying
He's
here.
got
I
to.
know he won't mind staying here. All right.
Because I know originally he said he didn't want no part of a rebuild, right? I know he said that towards the end of the season, but beggars can't be choosers. If there isn't a market for him, and
But think
Detroit
about
saying we'll
this,
take
though.
you back, he's going to stay here.
Yeah.
And the staff that's been put in place. This is another discussion we could have for a long time. How refreshing would it be for a player to play for the staff that the Lions have put in position right now?
And play with them. They would
Guys
love-
who have played, they understand what it's
He's
like.
probably played against some of those guys.
I'm sure he has.
Yeah. He's probably played against some of those guys.
Ring, ring, ring. Hello, Joik Bell here. Joik, what's up? It's Deuce.
The deuce is loose.
my man.
What up, Deuce?
All right, Joik, you want to come back and play for this roster?
Yeah, for sure.
You-
for sure. Yeah, for
You
sure.
play for this roster?
I'll
Hell
come
yeah.
back. No. Hey, I'll come back and help you coach. Yeah, for sure. I'll
you
give
coach.
1 day a week. I'll come in 1 day a week, See what's up to the guys.
Could be a quality control guy
Yeah.
on
I'll come in
Thursdays.
once a week, 2 hours all you get, a week. But, I'll come in and say what's up.
Yeah.
Shoot the bull.
Yeah.
That's all I got for you.
I do think that the staff, the fact that they've all played, they understand what it's like to play. It does, and it at some point will draw players to the city. I don't know if it's this year, but I think for where they were a year ago as opposed to where they are now, maybe AP thinks that I kind of like to be here, especially if they're going to pay him. They need to pay him. Somebody's going to have to pay him, and he's a worthy number 2 running back. But what's the wins above replacement kind of thing for a number 2 running back, a guy down the depth chart? It's just I'm not sure what the cost is.
We got Theo Riddick at in the 5th round.
Yeah,
And he sat behind Reggie for a couple of years, and
Yeah.
then came in and took over. So
he was incredible. He really was as a pass catcher and blocking as a third down.
he learned a lot. He learned a lot from playing under Reggie, being a similar running back type of style as Reggie. Came in, learned, left for one off season, came back, and his route running skills was off the chart. I don't know what he did the off season, but he came back just a freak. Probably one of the best route runners out of the backfield I've seen in person.
He was unreal. The angle route stuff against linebackers, and they had no chance.
It would be to a point to where they would line up and take the inside away, right?
Didn't matter.
They'll be about 3 yards inside of him, and he's still able to get inside. Like I never understood how they did not know or see it coming. You know it's coming.
Yeah.
Adrian said,
Footwork.
I'm going to keep playing, trying to chase that championship, and God willing, within the process of doing that, I'm able to catch Emmett and pass him. I want to live to be a 40-year-old back out there rushing for 1,500 yards and amazing people still. Now, the latter part of that is delusional. You're not at
Did
36
anybody rush for 1,500? Outside of Derrick Henry, was there another running back who rushed for 1,500
You're out
yards?
your mind. You're
What
not
was
doing
Delvin?
that stuff.
He was at 14-something, or was he at 15? 1,500?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think Delvin was at 1,500.
He's awesome.
Yeah. So Delvin was right there, right
But that's
behind
your
him.
prototype of modern-day NFL back. That guy who's really good runner, but also a good pass catcher and just explosive chunk plays.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it's at.
15.57 at 5 yards a pop.
The Devin Cook.
And he missed
Is
some
that any
time
good?
too, right?
Yeah, and he missed some time. Is that any good?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good.
How many games did he miss?
2, right?
Hey, do you
I'm
guys
gonna look it
remember
up
when
just
he
to
was
be sure.
considered slow coming out of Florida State? You guys remember her? That was fun, huh?
Yeah. Must have been the same
He
scout
missed 2.
that scouted me.
He missed 2.
He missed 2 games?
Yeah. He missed
So
2.
he could have been easily around 1,900.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Could've
you're
been.
100 yards a game plus as just a
Yeah.
pure runner, you're one of, if not the best running back in football. Then you throw on the 600, 700, 800 yards, whatever it is,
Yeah.
catching, and it's just that's your offense. That's how things get done.
Yeah, he wasn't too far off of 2,000 yards combined. I mean, it's kind of crazy when he
Yeah.
had 15.57 in rushing and he had 361 in receiving. So he wasn't that
yeah.
he wasn't that far off from 2,000 combined. I mean, that's
And in
insane.
today's game, that is a huge number.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Here we go. Hey, guys. You got Sean Baligian, Scott Bischoff, Joik Bell here. Thanks for tapping in for another episode of Baligian and Bill here at Woodward Sports. Catch you guys tomorrow. Tap in. Gang, gang.